Ajax Amsterdam. Boy oh boy, they've had some famous players represent the club over the years. One of, if not the biggest club in Dutch football, recognised for producing young talent consistently season after season. One of the stories of the footballing world in 2019, Ajax reaching the semi-finals of the Champions League, announcing themselves onto the European stage once again. However, imagine if they never sold the greats that have passed through their club over the last 10 seasons or so. What if the juggernauts of Amsterdam never sold their best players? Could they go all the way in Europe? What success could they achieve over a few simulated seasons in FIFA 19 career mode? Well, that's what today's video is all about. Let's jump straight into it, shall we? You know the drill by now. Leave your suggestions on who we should do this experiment with next down below, and your idea could turn into a future video. Also, make sure to hit the like button down below, smash that big red subscribe button too, as we're on our way to 20,000 subscribers before FIFA 20, and hit that notification bell while you're at it. And also comment down below who's your favorite ex-Ajax player in this side. There are so many to choose from, so I'm keen to hear what you guys have to say down below. And a quick disclaimer before we get into it, a player who we couldn't include in this squad, 2010 World Cup finalist, treble winner with Inter, the great Wesley Sneijder, one of my favorite midfielders in the last decade, who just unfortunately isn't in FIFA 19, so he couldn't be included into the side. Now we're going to get straight into introducing this side. Sir What If, he's been to Italy, he's been to France, but this is his first adventure in the Netherlands, and we're going to kick it off right here, introducing the boys to you. The big one, the first player on this list, the goalkeeper Jasper Cillessen, one of the breakout stars for the Netherlands in the 2014 World Cup, obviously moved to Barcelona, then now recently in the summer transfer window has moved on to Valencia. So we'll see how that adventure goes for the 29-year-old. Now, unfortunately, very similarly to Leon, there haven't been too many great goalkeepers, so we've just kept Onana here, the Cameroonian goalkeeper. He will be a backup for big Jasper in goal. And then it's another recent summer transfer, Matthijs de Ligt, the big Dutch wonder kid. The captain of Ajax has made the big summer move to Torino, the deal that agent CR7 got over the line. The 19-year-old now is going to be playing his football in Serie A, and I'm very excited to see how it plays out for him. We're going to be going over some awesome centre-backs in this squad, and we're going to kick it off with two Belgians, the Belgian partnership at the back. First off, Jan Vertonghen and Toby Alderweireld. Now, obviously, both two Spurs players now, they originated in Ajax. Two major pickups. Alderweireld went on to Southampton. Spurs picked him up, and Vertonghen has been a loyal servant to the North London side from over the years. As we move on to another player who has ventured into the Premier League, Daley Blind, who's actually gone from Ajax to Manchester United, now back to Ajax. So technically, he's included in this squad. We've included him in here because he has left the Dutch Giants to link up with Dutch manager Louis van Gaal back in the day. As we move on to another Spurs player, there's going to be a lot of current Spurs players in this side. We'll get to more of them later, but now we have the Colombian Davinson Sanchez, 22 years of age, yet another high potential star that Ajax have produced. He's gone on to do some big things in the Premier League with the North London club, and another man who has had a decent spell in North London, but this time not for Spurs, for the Gunners, Thomas Vermaelen, the now 32-year-old Belgian centre-back. He's getting on a bit, but he had a spell in Barcelona too. I believe he now plays in Japan with Vissel Kobe as well. Felipe Luis doesn't play in Japan though, he plays in Brazil. He has moved back to his homeland. He, surprisingly, I didn't know this before the video, he started off at Ajax, not playing a game for the club, he just was there for a bit during his youth career. So technically he counts being in this squad. Obviously, the Atletico Madrid man, former Chelsea man as well. As we move on to a squad player here, squad rotational player, Jairo Riedewald, plays for Crystal Palace in the Premier League. Was a wonder kid a few years ago in career mode, however, hasn't really fulfilled his potential, just like Davy Klaassen didn't really do well at Everton in the Premier League, where he made his big European move. He now plays for Werder Bremen in the Bundesliga. And then alongside Matthijs de Ligt, it's the second major departure from Ajax this summer, big Frenkie de Jong. He is headed off to his dream club of Barcelona. He is going to be playing his football in Spain, assisting the likes of Messi, Suarez, Coutinho, and the list goes on and on. The young Dutchman has a bright future ahead of him, and he's going to be doing some big things for Barcelona in the future, don't you worry. However, Richard Lee Bazua, if any of you guys remember him, he is like a FIFA 15, FIFA 16 career mode legend. Bazua had amazing potential a few years ago, has kind of dropped off in the past few FIFAs. However, he is still grinding it out in the Bundesliga. I believe plays for Wolfsburg at the moment. And yeah, it's just a throwback wonder kid who actually played for Ajax. We move on to another Premier League star, Ryan Babel, who played his football for Fulham in the Premier League this season. He is 31, however, is a former Ajax boy and qualifies for this side. Yet another former wonder kid from over the years. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. Victor Fischer, the Danish winger, who had bucket loads of potential back in probably, FIFA 13, FIFA 14, I want to say, hasn't really reached it. He's went through a bunch of clubs, and ever since he left Ajax, hasn't really found his feet at a club. But we're going to move on to one of the major players, one of the marquee stars in this former Ajax side. Unlike the Dane Victor Fischer, he should have followed this man's example, Christian Eriksen, the 26-year-old center attacker midfielder that all of Europe have got their eyes on at the moment. 88 overall in FIFA 19, he's still killing it for Spurs, was a Champions League finalist this year, and he's an example of a wonder kid who has fulfilled his potential over the years. He's about to enter his prime. As we move on to one of the most famous failed wonder kids, it is a man who has passed through this Ajax side, Bojan, the Spanish midfielder who, was supposed to be the next big thing in football. However, we all know how that has gone. He's playing for Stoke City these days, and we move our focus to a player who hasn't left Ajax yet in real life. However, the mercurial Moroccan Hakim Ziyech is the next one on the chopping block here. The big European clubs are sniffing around, and he is probably going to land off in the Premier League, I assume. I'd be very surprised if this man doesn't make a European move this summer, but we've included him in there because he has been heavily linked away from the club, and we couldn't include one of the greats, Wesley Sneijder, in here. So we're going to move on to a club legend, a Dutch legend, Klaas-Jan Huntelaar, the now 34-year-old striker who has left Ajax. He's come back to his boyhood club as well. He is definitely up there with the great strikers that Ajax have let go over the past few years. But now we move our attention to Arkadiusz Milik, the man now playing for Napoli in Serie A, the Polish marksman who made a name for himself here at Ajax, earned himself a European move, and we're just warming up in terms of strikers here. We're slowly getting into it as we're going to move on to the two major pair who are starting up top. Luis Suarez and Zlatan Ibrahimovic are going to be the strike partnership, the duo, the dynamic duo. But as you can see, Ibra is retiring at the end of the season, so Suarez is going to continue on the legacy. But what a combination. I'm keen to see what these two can achieve. But two very unique, very talented strikers that Ajax have let go over the years and have went on to achieve some brilliant things in their career. So I'm keen to see how they'll link up. But we're going to move on to two squad rotational players. Oh no, three left wingers. Justin Kluivert, the 19-year-old now at Roma. Amin Younes, yet another man who's gone to Napoli, the 24-year-old German, as well as Anwar El Ghazi, who's going to be playing his Premier League football with Aston Villa. So three kind of squad rotational left wingers that we've included here in the squad. That is the overall look of the squad. A very strong team here. A team with depth, a team with quality, and my, we've got bags of it. This is how the starting 11 is looking. We've got them in a 4-3-1-2 formation. Suarez, Ibra up top, Eriksen in the middle playing the number 10 role. Blind, De Jong, Klaassen are going to be the three central midfielders. Felipe Luis starting in that left back. Alderweireld and Vertonghen are going to be the two Belgians at the back, and De Ligt is going to be a makeshift right back, as well as Sillerson in goal. And those are the substitutes off the bench. A lot of firepower up top to bring on in times of need, as well as a big defender in there in Davinson Sanchez. That is probably one of the best X squads we've made so far in one of these experiments. I'm predicting very big things here for the Dutch club. I'm expecting trophies. I'm expecting success with this side. We're going to simulate to the end of the season and see how they've done in the league, in the cup, and in the Champions League. Obviously, a lot of star players, a lot of big players to keep our eye on, and I'm very intrigued to see how they're going to do all together as a team. I'm going to see you at the end of Season 1. Now, it's disappointing news awaiting us at the end of Season 1 as PSV Eindhoven has edged us out into the Eredivisie title. Unfortunately for us, we're 3 points behind them. Despite losing one game all season, we drew 3 more times than them, our main rivals, and I believe Ajax's rivals in real life. Correct me if I'm wrong. However, we got to be converting those draws into wins. Just unlucky from us. However, we qualify for the Champions League next season, I believe, so that is good. Please tell me we at least won the Dutch club. No, we didn't. The Orange Becker goes to AZ Alkmaar. However, we got knocked out to Zwolle 5-4 on penalties after it was 2-2. Unlucky semi-final elimination. That was a very winnable final, but Unfortunately for us, we couldn't do the business there. Alright, here's the big one, the Champions League. How did it all go for us in Europe? It's Barca and PSG in the final. We finished top of the group, undefeated in the group stage, alongside Bayern, who came out of the group with us. Benfica off to the Europa League, and Athens eliminated straight out. How do we do in the round of 16? Oh, it's a 3-2 loss to Barcelona on aggregate. Eliminated in the round of 16 by the slimmest of margins, and it was Barcelona who have gone on to the final, so I feel a bit less bad about that. However, we could have got a bit of an easier round of 16 draw there. We finished on top, and we got Barcelona. UEFA is doing us dirty there. And here are our top performers this season. Someone I didn't expect to do this well. It's Davy Klaassen, the 26-year-old midfielder, got 23 goals and 6 assists in there, so he was one of our best players this season, if not the best player in this side. Luis Suarez, the Uruguayan, gone down 1 overall, however, he bagged 19 goals in there with 3 assists. Christian Eriksen, the magical Dane in the midfield, 18 goals and 15. Double figures in both goals and assists for him. Arkadiusz Milik with 14 goals, alongside Zlatan Ibrahimovic, 12 goals and 2 assists for him. His last season at the club. Unfortunately for us, he's retiring, so we're not going to be seeing him in the next 2 seasons. We move on to Hakim Ziyech, the Mercurial Moroccan, 6 goals and 5 assists for him. Big Frankie de Jong in the midfield, getting 12 assists, which is very decent numbers. 4 goals in the attacking output as well, so a lot of goal involvement there from Frankie. Victor Fischer with 4 goals, 1 assist. Felipe Luis getting a lot of game time, 49 appearances for him, 2 goals, 3 assists. We move on to Lit, only 22 games for him. However, it was Alderweireld with a big injury there. Daley Blind getting 39 appearances. Kluivert, these were the kind of players who didn't really play all too much. Bazua got a bit of game time in there, as well as Davidson Sanchez. So it looks like it was a lot of a squad effort in there, with Jasper Cillessen getting 20 clean sheets, which is an outstanding number for the keeper. However, it's a disappointing season from the ex-Ajax boys. No silverware to show for it. Hopefully season 2 is a bit better. Hopefully season 2 is a bit of an improvement upon that. The debut season not doing too well, but now we go on to the next season, hoping for a bit more glory. Let's see how they do. So all of the lads going on to redeem themselves in season 2, and would you take a look at that? They've blown the league out the water. PSV, champions last season, have been absolutely decimated here in the second. 69 points for them. We finish on top with 83, and it's back-to-back 83 points. This time, though, we finish off Dutch Eredivisie champions, and something we should have achieved last season. However, PSV, a big fall from grace there, as AZ and Utrecht finish off the top 4. We're going to move on and see how we did in the Dutch Cup, and it's a 2-1 win against Feyenoord, so it's the domestic Dutch double in season 2. They've made up for it this year. They've gotten their act together. However, does this convert into continental European success? We're going to find out, ladies and gentlemen. The UEFA Champions League, it's Manchester City and Bayer Leverkusen of all sides in the final. Where did we get knocked out? We're going to take a look at the group stage. We finished on top in a group with Milan, Genk, and Moscow. We finish on top due to goal difference or head-to-head. Milan make it out as well. We win 2-0 against Bayern in the round of 16, and then we got matched up against Manchester City 2-0. We lost 2-0 on aggregate to Pep's men, and yet again, we lose to finalists this season. Last season was Barcelona. This year was Manchester City. No signs of reaching the semis or even the final in season 2. I guess the big focus for the lads in the next one is going to be the Champions League, as we've won everything else, but these are going to be our star performers this season. And the Polish marksman up top, Arkadiusz Milik, with 26 goals, the top goal scorer this season. He's picked up an injury though. However, he dominated up top for us alongside Luis Suarez, the new strike partnership up top, obviously as Ibrahimovic retired, but it's back-to-back double figures in both goals and assists for Christian Eriksen. He's proving to be one of our best attacking players, one of our most consistent players. Verdane showing his class in the Netherlands. However, it's Davy Klaassen, arguably the best player of season 1, with 14 goals and 5 assists to back up his first campaign. Hakim Ziyech with both 11 goals and 11 assists for season 2. The Mercurial Moroccan continues to dominate here at Ajax. Victor Fischer getting 6 goals, and then it's top assist man from last season, Frankie de Jong, with 16 assists and 4 goals. Consistent stuff. And see that Matthias de Ligt got a bit of game time in there alongside Vertonghen. Felipe Luis getting 55 appearances. However, Jasper Cillessen not getting too much game time, as Onana has just taken over. And then we have Toby Alderweireld getting 35 appearances. Davy Blind getting a lot of game time in there as well. And then these boys down the bottom didn't do too much. Justin Kluivert growing well, although he's picked up an injury and he hasn't played all too much. So season 2, it was domestic redemption with the Dutch Cup and the Eredivisie now in Season 3. It's Champions League or bust. Let's see how far they can take themselves in Europe's elite competition. Can the Captain de Ligt lead Amsterdam to European glory? Let's go ahead and find out. So can Season 3 prove to be one of the most successful seasons here for Ajax? And take a look at that. The back-to-back seasons now, we've become Dutch champions in the league here. Eredivisie winners with a strong 81 points. PSV 6 points behind us, but not enough to claim their title back. We win it 2 years in a row, and to take a look at that, the Dutch dominance continues here. We came up against PSV, our closest contenders in the country, and we defeated them 3-0 in the Orange Beker final, the Dutch Cup final. It is the domestic double 2 seasons in a row. But the big one though, the Champions League. How did the European campaign go this season for the lads? And it's familiar faces in the final, Manchester United and Barcelona. We're going to take a look at the group stage here. Ajax, we topped it off on goal difference again, or head-to-head, 2 seasons in a row. 13 points. Sevilla came out of there with us, with Liverpool finishing in 3rd. Doomed to the Europa League. In the round of 16, we came up against Manchester United and lost 4-1. You've got to be kidding me. So Sevilla coming 2nd in the group, get Lazio. We get Manchester United. We get absolutely done by UEFA again. They are not doing us any favours here in the elimination draws, and it's an early round of 16 exit for Ajax. So unfortunately, no European glory. However, these were our main stars this season. Luis Suarez, the Uruguayan gunslinger, still tearing up defenses at 34 years of age. 29 goals for the lad in 39 games, 8 assists as well. Brilliant season from him, as well as our consistent as ever Christian Eriksen with double figures in both goals and assists. 15 goals and 13 assists for him. The mercurial Moroccan Hakim Ziyech with 13 goals and 6 assists. Our top goal scorer from last season, Arkadiusz Milik, only getting 8 goals in there. David Klaassen with 7 and 5. Bazua, 4 goals and 5 assists. Frankie de Jong, yet again, topping the charts with assists. 90 overall now for him, 3 goals and 12 assists for him. Victor Fischer and Justin Kluivert, few goals in there for Marlon, doing alright. Felipe Luis, still one of our main left backs. Matthias de Ligt with 33 games in there. Daley Blind still putting in a shift with 49 games as we continue to go further down the table. Davinson Sanchez getting a lot of game time this season, the Colombian at the back. Those were the performers that didn't do too well. However, it is Dutch domestic success guaranteed for Ajax. However, it wasn't European glory. It wasn't written in the stars for them. You'd think that side would be capable of winning the Champions League. However, it just wasn't to be. And Ajax, you're going to have to try again next season. Don't know if you'll get up to the semi-finals. The quarterfinals is the furthest they could go. 2 Dutch Cups and 2 Eredivisie titles to their name. That would be Ajax team if they never sold their best players. Huntelaar retired, Zlatan retired here at Ajax. So what a perfect way to finish off their career. Season 1 took a little while to get things running here. Season 1, not too much glory, but 2 and 3, brilliant stuff here from the Ajax lads. European glory was out of their reach. However, it was a brilliant little experiment yet again. What a side Amsterdam could have had. But that is going to be it for the video, guys. Hope you did enjoy this one. Make sure to leave a big like down below. Follow me on Twitter. The link is in the description. Hit that big red subscribe button. Your support on the channel does not go unnoticed. I appreciate every single one of you. Hit the notification bell so you never miss out on a video on the channel. Comment down below who should be next and who your favorite player was in this Ajax side. I've been BCHD. I hope you did enjoy it, and I'll see you on the very next video.